Welcome to the Ancient Alternative View. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Good day to all watching the Ancient Alternative View, the place where everyone's opinion matters. Remember, the truth has been hidden and covered for many years, so all theories to our ancient past are on the table. I look forward to hearing your views. Please like, comment and subscribe below. Thank you. The megalithic stones of Carnac are a set of stones intricately positioned in Brittany. It is the most extensive prehistoric monument in the world. This megalithic site is believed to have been erected during the Neolithic period, probably around about 5000 BCE, but this date obviously could vary. Like extensive lines of pennants, the enigmatic stones of Carnac were positioned in a straight line across the rough territory of Brittany, keeping guard in front of the waters of the Bay of Biscay. Local tradition has yielded a number of interesting legends about the menhirs. Although their presence and configuration are truly mysterious, the peasants of the region found a way to explain them. According to a deep-rooted belief, the megaliths are Roman soldiers petrified by God to protect Saint Cornelius, patron of Carnac. Another one suggests that at night the stones come to life and advance towards the sea to bathe or drink. They have been credited with healing powers. It was also believed that they could provide fertility and help people who seek love. The stones of Carnac are not only one of the most extensive prehistoric monuments in our world, they were seemingly just as important when they were erected. This evidence can be seen at just how many stones were present in this area. According to experts, when the stones were erected, there were as many as 10,000. Today, after thousands of years, only 3,000 remain. Four large groupings called Le Menec, Kermanaro, Kurliscan and Le Petit Menec. Next to the village of Menec is where the most numerous alignment begins. There are 1,099 stones in 11 rows, placed mimicking soldiers or school children in order of height. The largest measures 3.7 meters and the smallest only 90 centimeters. They were positioned facing northeast, in gentle undulations along a slightly curved line. The Camario megaliths are larger, with the megaliths exceeding 7 meters in height and decrease in size over an area of 1,200 kilometers. The other two groupings are smaller, but Kurliscan differs by a square configuration of the 540 stones that compose it. Jerome Penhoot proposed in 1826 that the four alignments of Carnac were part of the body of a massive snake that was depicted on the lands of Brittany. However, different eras have produced different theories trying to explain the mystery behind these stones. During the 19th century, it was suggested that these were places dedicated to the solar and lunar cult, while authors thought that they were avenues that led to the temples that have now disappeared from sight. Hans Hermannek suggested that the rows of menhirs were the tombs of Atlantean soldiers who had died during the Trojan War. Nice thought, isn't it? Also, James Ferguson proposed that the erection of these monuments should commemorate a sort of great battle that took place in our ancient times. Other scholars who have studied the megalithic stones have gone a lot further and proposed that they were true tombs and believe they found support for this reasoning in the meaning of the names of some places in Breton, a language of Celtic origin. Camario means city of the dead. However, when formulating this last theory, it seems that experts seem to ignore the fact that the menhirs are much older than the appearance of Celts in the region. The first to allude to the celestial map theory of Carnac was André Cambrai, who maintained that the stones of Carnac mimic the stars and planets and the zodiac. After Chambray, other authors took up the idea, and in 1970 the English engineer Alexander Thom followed the footsteps of Gerald Hawkins in his studies of Stonehenge and applied them to Carnac. According to Tom, the Great Fallen Menhir at Loch Maricure was the centre of an immense astronomical observatory capable of predicting eclipses and much, much more. Their measurements indicated that from this supermassive, gigantic menhir, it was possible to observe the 8 extreme positions of the moon. He also proposed that Carnac alignments were solar calculators used to correct the irregularities observed in the movements of our moon. The immense fallen menhir of Loch Maricure, known as Gra, the Stone of the Fairies, measured more than 20 meters in height and is believed to have existed with a combination of other menhirs that are now gone. This massive menhir was estimated at a weight of 280 tons. It remains a profound mystery as to how ancient people managed to move this and other menhirs to their current positions without the use of advanced technology, ladies and gentlemen of the Ancient Alternative View. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. And we're looking at some individual stones from Carnac. And what I'd like to show you is, of course, when we look at Stonehenge, I mean, we've looked at this on a previous episode, we actually see that there's one of the processing nubs at the top here. Well, also, if we go to Carnac, likewise, we find one of these processing nubs. How interesting. So in England and in France. Now, what I'd like to show you, ladies and gentlemen, is a series of photos from Carnac. Now, this is one special one that I've found. I'm sure Andrew at Ancient History Criticisms will be interested in this. There's actually a small processing nub there, so it stands to reason that this may have been from an original structure or an original temple at some point. Let's see if we can zoom into that ever so slightly more and have a little bit better look. Now, we find these all over the world, so why is there a processing nub there? I'd love to hear your views, Ancient Alternative View. Now, bear with me. There's some interesting photos that I've found of the site. This is where our nub feature is. And we're going to go through and have a little look at these. I'm not quite sure who these people are, to be quite honest. It's certainly not me. And you can see typically how the stones were arranged, which we've looked at on today's episode. Now, why am I showing you these photos? Well, we get to a part which is subterranean. This is what we've looked at already. Imagine lifting that up in one piece. And here it is. Now, I take a little bit closer look at the door. Look at the size of that stone. Now, everything around it doesn't look quite as ancient, but look at that. It is massive. And as we go through into there, ladies and gentlemen, on one of the rocks we've got this strange symbol carved. Now, I've hunted for this symbol, and I've also looked with a couple of research colleagues of mine, Dave Hannaran of Uchronia Utopia and Andrew at Ancient History Criticisms. Big up you guys. And we're struggling with this one a little tiny bit. It seems to look like one of the star systems, which does point at Carnac being a huge astronomical solar alignment centre. It has a slight arrowhead that goes into here on the Dendora star system, but I'd love to hear your ancient alternative view on that. Also, we've got this strange carving. Now, for want of a better word, it looks like a series of R's, or it looks like maybe it's been worn off down at the bottom here. And this could have been some sort of concentric circle, maybe. Again, I'm just guessing. I'd love to hear your ancient alternative view. But what a sight Carnac is. Again, almost like a trapezoidal door feature, but again, most doors look like that are built like this. But it's not one of our stair-stepper doorways. Doesn't have nubs on it, but there are nubs in the area. And by nubs, what I mean is there's sets of blocks around the world that come either beveled or they come with nubs. If you're following me on Twitter, you'll see quite a lot of the nubs. Andrew at Ancient History Criticisms does excellent work on that, so get across and have a look. I look from the inside of the doorway there, extremely dark, which I find very interesting. Now, one for Dave Hannahan here. Has that been stood up, mate? Has that been stood up? Because a lot of these stones are actually set at a different angle, and you'll be able to see that if you have a good look around different ancient sites. If you can find any of these that are placed at angles, they're actually placed in alignment to the stars, and it's people like us later on that have moved them upwards thinking they were wrongly aligned. Couple more photos for you of the area. It's Biscay Bay, as we've discussed in the show today. And this is a stonework underneath. I mean, look at these roofing systems. Actually looks very, very ancient to me. Far earlier than 5000 BC, but that's open to interpretation, ladies and gentlemen. And this is almost like the star alignments that we find at the New Raji. And absolutely superb. I mean, it has actually got slight amounts of filler within the stones, I'm believing. So possibly this bit is later on in date, but I'd love to hear your ancient alternative view on Carnac and whether you think it's a solar alignment centre. Could it have been a calculator of some sort for our moon and our sun? Could it have calculated eclipses? I believe so. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and thank you very much indeed. Remember, there's always an ancient alternative view. Thank you for watching.